Hey, what's up YouTubers? Welcome back to another Todd E. Walnuts update video. The gang is all here. Miss Heidi on the right, Miss Hannah on the left, with the flash right in their face. Sorry about that, ladies. I don't have a whole lot to show today, but I did pick up the February package from Vinegar Syndrome, so I'll share that with you guys. I did pick up a little stack of vinyl, and I picked up a pretty cool box set from Aero Video, and I will show that last. So let's get into the Vinegar Syndrome titles. The first one is kind of a rare title, or kind of a overlooked title from Umberto Lenzi, called Hitcher in the Dark. And as usual, you get a gorgeous slipcover. Really cool color scheme there with the different shades of blue and then that red that pops out at you. And here is the cover on the inside. Looks beautiful. And you get a newly scanned and restored 4K print of the film from the 35mm original camera negative. There is a commentary track. Let's see what else. It is all region. And this movie came out in 1989. And so there is the disc art. And there is yet a third cover. Usually they have whatever cover is on the slipcover as the opposite side, but this one has 3 different covers. I'm choosing that one. I think that looks the best. Although that one's pretty cool too. That has a more retro feel to it. This one has a more grindhouse feel to it to me. I actually like this cover better than I do the slipcover cover. So that is Hitcher in the Dark. The next title is an upgrade for me. I do have this on DVD, and I consider this a more modern horror movie. It came out in 1995. And that's a beauty. That's a really nice cover right there. The piercing eyes almost look like they're lit up. And here's the classic cover. You guys may recognize that. I'm sure most of you own this one or have seen it before. There's the disc art. And then there is the reverse. That's the same as the slipcover. And this is also a 4K scan from the 35mm original negative, and as I stated before, this came out in 1995. It is all region. It's about a group of college students who go into the woods to study, and they're in a remote mountain cabin, and they come across these, I don't know what you call them, these tree people. And it looks pretty cool though. I mean, you can definitely tell it's a guy in a rubber suit, but it looks pretty cool. I enjoyed this one. It's not a great movie, but it's still like middle of the road, good, fun movie. So that is The Fear. The next and last edition from Vinegar Syndrome is the Forgotten Gialli Volume 3 with another beautiful box. You got to really look at that and just appreciate the beauty of the different colors and the different images. Very, very nice. And this is volume 3. It comes with Autopsy, Murder Mansion, and Crazy Desires of a Murderer. And this one was limited to 6,000. And I will go through and show you the movies that come inside. Here's Crazy Desires of a Murderer, a film by Filippo Walter Radi. And I must admit, I am not familiar with the gentleman. You get a 4K scan from the 35mm original negative. It is all region, filmed from 1977. So that's the disc art. And the reverse is beautiful. I really like that. It has kind of that 70s or 60s kind of that painted cover look to it. The only one out of these three that I've seen so far was Autopsy, and that's a decent movie. We'll talk about that one in a second, but this one is from F. Lara Polap, called Murder Mansion. Again, I'm not familiar with the director, at least not that I know of. I don't know what their other works are. But you do get a 4K scan again from the 35mm original negative. Again, it is all region, the film from 1972. And even, you know, just the title, Murder Mansion, I'm always drawn into those type of movies. And check out the very top line of the description. It says, on a dark and foggy night in the countryside, a group of strangers all find themselves stranded in an old Gothic mansion. How could you not want to watch that? It just pulls you in. And I think I know what I'll be watching tonight. Beautiful cover again. Beautiful artwork. And there's the reverse. Really, really nice. So that is Murder Mansion from 1972. And the last one is from Armando Crispino, called Autopsy. This is a 2K scan from the 35mm original negative. It is all region, filmed from 1975, and it stars Mimsy Farmer, and Ray Lovelock is in here as well. Crispino also did The Dead Are Alive. You guys may remember that one. It had a release from Code Red, both on DVD and Blu-ray. And Mimsy Farmer did some work with Argento. She did Four Flies on Grey Velvet. And she did, what was the one, Perfume of the Lady in Black. So again, it's a fun watch. It's not a great movie, but it's still a very fun movie, like about a 6 out of 10 or 6.5 out of 10. That's cool, that cover right there. So I will do a quick recap, and then I'm going to show you a vinyl for that movie that I got a few years ago from a friend here on YouTube. But that is the Forgotten Gialli, Volume 3, Murder Mansion, Crazy Desires of a Murderer, and Autopsy. So a couple of years ago, Aero Video in 2018 was going to release Autopsy on Blu-ray, and I don't know what happened. The reason why they didn't do it, I'm not sure. But they did release the soundtrack on vinyl. And this was a gift to me from my good friend Tanner Ross out there in Hollywood, California. He picked this up for me, and I was really pleased to get this. I was very happy. You could see some of the stills from the movie. Just wanted to kind of share this with you guys. And there's some liner notes in there. There's colored vinyl. I believe it is red, kind of an orangish red swirl. And there you can see some of the tracks. It's a 2-record set. Not sure if Aero is going to end up releasing this with the UK rights now that Vinegar Syndrome has the US rights. I'm not sure how that works, but let's hope that they do put it out. Okay, before we go on to the Aero Video Box Set that I have, I just wanted to talk a little bit about the boxes of the box sets for Forgotten Gialli, Volume 1, 2, and 3. Volume 1 was limited to 5,000 copies. It is now sold out, so you can still get the movies, but you can't get them in the box set anymore. You can only order them separately. Volume 2 was also limited to 5,000 pieces. They still have over 1,000 copies left, but I would not sleep on it if I were you. if you're on the fence about it, grab it now. Otherwise, you'll miss out on it. And Volume 3 is limited to 6,000, which it's a lot, but it will go pretty fast. And more people each day are becoming aware of Vinegar Syndrome and their product. So just because the first one took a while to sell out, it doesn't mean the third one will as well. I mean, it might go a little bit faster, who knows, but I wouldn't risk it. You know, if you're on the fence about it and you think you really want it, just grab it now. Save yourself the hassle of trying to deal with some scalper on eBay. Okay, so getting into the Aero Video Box Set, and it's been a while since I picked anything up from Aero. I've been spending a lot of my money on Vinegar Syndrome lately, but this was one I didn't want to let get away. And this is another one that's going to sell out pretty quick. And this is the Demons 1 and 2 box set. As I mentioned, it's from Aero Video. Took the plastic off already to save a little bit of time. But here on the back, it talks about the 4K restoration of the 2 films that Aero put out. For disc 1, you get 2 versions of the film. And for disc 2, you get a bunch of the special features. You can see that there. This is region B, though, so you have to make sure that you have a region-free player. And most of you who watch my channel by now know all about the multi-regions and stuff like that. So that's nothing new for you. But let's take a look inside. I have not looked into this yet. I just recently pulled the plastic off just moments ago, so I didn't really get a good chance to look at this yet, but check out that work. That artwork there is beautiful. I enjoy both films. I do enjoy part 1 a little bit better. I prefer part 1 a lot better, but I like them both. Comes with this little slip box, kind of like a version of something Vinegar Syndrome would do. Let's see what we got here. It looks like we have a digipack style packaging for the movies. You get an art card here for the Jaws of Death, a William Griffey movie that was also included in his box set. He Came from the Swamp, which I also recommend. A beautiful box set. And I'm sure most of you guys know by now that Aero Video is releasing a box set called Weird Wisconsin. So hey, you know, I'm in on that. I live here in Wisconsin, so I'm all about that. But here is Demons 1. There's the background art for the original Italian title. Here's the disc for Demons 2. There's the Italian title. I'm not sure how many times Aero has released something from Demons, but it's got to be about 5 or 6 times by now. I mean, they've had the window box sets, they've had steelbooks, they've had Blu-rays, now they have the 4K transfer. But hey, we keep buying them. These are good movies. Here's the poster. I'll pull that out last. We'll show that last. But here's the gold ticket. That's beautiful. That's a really nice touch. I think that is really, really cool. I like that a lot. That's cool. And then there's a hardcover book. And these are the little things you're not going to get once this sells out. This box set here, once it's sold out, you're not going to get the hardcover book. You're probably not going to get the poster, or maybe you'll get the poster still, but you won't get this nice box packaging. What you'll get is just probably an Amore case. So I do recommend grabbing this while you can. If it's not already sold out, it will go fast. Trust me on that one. But I feel like I kind of flipped through that too fast. But you got the thick glossy pages, stills and write-ups about the films. Beautiful. Really, really nice set. I'm very impressed, and I'm glad that I picked this up. So there is the poster pulled out. That is side 1, the Demons side, with Rosemary Goretta. And side 2 is Demons 2, of course. Beautiful image there. As I'm putting this back together, I put everything in there and I closed the box back up. I kind of have a little bit of a gripe on the design of this because it seems like it's loose and it's not exactly even. And even though this is going to sit on a shelf, it just feels like it's kind of sloppy. It feels like it's loose and it just doesn't have a good solid tight feel to it. I'll have to admit that I do love this set, but I don't like the package designing. I'm going to put that out there. I'm just going to say that. But other than that, other than the package designing, I think this is definitely a must own. I wish they would have kept, or I wish they would have had a solid box for this. They could have still had this image on the front and then just had like a little side load where you can take it in and out off the side. Yeah, that's what I would have done. But yeah, that is Autopsy from Aero Video. Okay, so the last part of this video is going to be some of the vinyl I picked up. Some of the stuff I picked up on eBay. One of them was imported from Germany, which was this top one. Got one on Amazon too, I think. But let's get into it here. And before I get into any of these records, this is kind of like a little caveat or a little precursor to what you're about to see. I am not a Satanist by any means at all. As a matter of fact, I'm not religious in any way. I don't follow any one man or any religion. Those are just my feelings about it. I buy these for the historical pieces that they are. There's a couple guys in here who, good or bad, were part of history, and some of the stuff really fascinates me, so I pick it up and I listen to it. This is a vinyl called, it's by Anton Szandor LaVey, called Satan Takes a Holiday. And this was limited to 500 copies, and this is the red vinyl. And it's basically, if you guys know anything about Anton LaVey, he was the founder of Church of Satan back in 1967 in San Francisco, California. And before he got his start with his own religion, he did some touring with circuses and burlesque shows where he played the pipe organ and he did some singing. He did some vocal work and stuff like that. So basically, this is a record of Anton LaVey playing the pipe organ, singing, and some of his instrumentals that he performed and that he came up with the music. So, and like I said, this stuff is very fascinating to me and it's very collectible. And his religion means nothing to me other than I like to kind of study it, and other than that, it's what it is. But the second one is called the Satanic Mass, and this was first recorded in 1967 at the Church of Satan. That's Anton LaVey's church, and that's when he founded it in 1967 in San Francisco. He owned a big house out there, and they used to call it the Black House, and that's where he had the Mass, and that's where he had his gatherings and whatever you want to call it. This is a limited edition blood splatter vinyl. This one was limited, I believe. I don't remember what it was limited to. I think it was 500, but don't quote me on that. But this one is pretty interesting because on side one is the baptism of his daughter Zena LaVey. So she was baptized at the Satanic Church in 1967 on side A. And then on side B was his kind of his I don't know if you want to call it ramblings or talkings or speech about the book that he was writing, which ended up being the Satanic Bible. So that's side B. You can see some of the tracks here. But this was released in 1995 for the first time ever. And that's sold out and it's long out of print. And this is the first repressing of it. So I'm sure this will go sell pretty fast too. That is the Satanic Mass. Now I have a couple of Charles Manson records. I wasn't sure if I was going to show these on my channel because I don't know how people are going to act about these. But these are recordings from Charles Manson in the I believe it was the mid-'80s, and this was at a facility called Vacaville Medical Facility, and the cover art was designed by Charles Manson, and all of the music inside is recorded at the medical facility in Vacaville, and it's Charles Manson just playing his guitar and singing, and it was recorded. That's the title of it right there. This is very rare, and it's limited. I think this is limited to 500. There's only a couple copies left, but I wanted to grab that just for the historical piece that it is. Again, here's another one. This is another Charles Manson record called The Way of the Wolf. This was limited to 300, and I think that art is beautiful. This art was not done by Charles Manson. This was put out by Parasitic, and this is also 80s prison recordings. And it has a liner note that was written by Nicholas Schreck. You guys may know him. And you can see the tracks right there. And the last one is a record from a game. This is a soundtrack from a game that I just recently completed on YouTube here. This is the record of Days Gone that was put up by Mondo. And this record is kind of pricey. I don't know if it's... The game has been out for a couple years. I think probably this album came out a couple years ago as well. It says it was put out in 2019. But it is a 2-disc set. And it's beautiful. And it's... this is one of the best games I've ever played. And the soundtrack was phenomenal. And they even have the... Usually these soundtracks don't have the, they just have like the background music and stuff like that. But this one actually has Soldier's Eyes and some of the actual songs that were in the game. And usually they don't do that. For example, on the Friday the 13th, the one with Alice Cooper, they didn't have any of his music in it. But part 6. Anyway, I'll do a quick recap and then I will end the video. I guess before I complete the video, I was going to show you a couple more of Manson records that I have. These are getting pretty hard to find and they're pretty pricey now. Every record I have of Charles Manson I paid $30 or less for it, but some of these now are a couple $100. So, but this one is called Walking in Truth. You can see there the track listing. And you can see it says that album was recorded by Charles Manson while he was incarcerated at CSP Vacaville. Manson sings and plays guitar. And you know, the thing about Manson that I find really interesting is half of the time when that guy talked, he was a raving lunatic and he made no sense whatsoever. But the other half, he was like a genius, and I can't figure that guy out. And I think that's what's so fascinating about Manson, you know. And some of his music was not bad. I mean, the guy could actually carry a tune. He was just off his rocker. Now this one here, this is a very expensive record now. I bought this one a couple of years ago. I think I paid about 25 or 30 bucks for it. And I've seen it go over 100, up to 300. So this is called The Hallways of the Always. Songs about struggle against cowardice, stupidity, and lies. Put out by New Era Productions. I think this one came out in 2017, I believe. It's just a one record set. There's side A and side B. And again, it was recorded by Manson at Vacaville. These are different recordings. This was in September 82 to September 84, and then April 1985. Those are the track listings there. So I will kind of show a... There's the one I picked up just recently. Very limited, and this one is even more limited. This one's going to go for a lot of money eventually. And I think right now you can still get it for 25 bucks. But my estimate is in about a year or so, this will be 100, 150, 200 bucks. So that is my little Charles Manson record collection. These are the 2 Anton LaVey records. Forgotten Gialli Volumes 1 and 2 I owned already. Volume 3 is new to my collection, as well as The Fear, The Hitcher in the Dark, and Demons 1 and 2. And very happy to have the Days Gone 2-record soundtrack. It's really beautiful. It sounds so good. So you guys let me know what was your favorite item that I picked up this past month. Let me know what you think about those Manson records or those LaVey records. I wasn't sure how those would go over here on YouTube. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Take care, and I will see you guys in an upcoming video someday soon. Bye.